When you're busy dealing with groceries, you can miss a
those of you who haven't started the meeting yet, we're just saying that you can make sure
You don't have it down the middle anymore. I mean, it sits. It looks like you're moving up and right in the swing. Go like, it's sat there, I mean, you can look at that screen. Going, I think, like 10 minutes.
Screens. It's gonna be that much.
Well, because
Will they move them around?
no,
You should push you on this one. So we can-
it would have been absolutely.
Well, good.
Well, I'm going to move. Yeah, move forward. Yeah.
He's on the tech team.
So we mostly going back between one. And I
Yeah,
don't,
I think that's wise.
well, but like she said, you have people coming up and down, I said, but for some reason they think that visually it's more respectful if I stand there and let you guys see from there.
Speak from our places, that's fine.
Yeah, rather than, I checked with them to make sure it was okay.
As long as all the microphones work.
Oh, I have my Bluetooth vest.
Do what?
My Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
care.
contagious. I'm
I
not
don't
contagious.
care. I love you.
Oh, you are just so sweet. Mark isn't really. He's about 30 years before me.
Yes, you
Yeah, you never get this shit down. Yeah, thank you.
I'm standing.
go live.
Barely. No, actually, a week ago. Yeah. Thank you for one.
Recording has started. How do you get the?
The mic's off, but that's for us. Not...
Do you have to click on the privacy policy?
No. See what happens. Oh, Simpson is there. MB is there.
Doesn't look like many people are there.
Nothing's on her yet, I don't think.
All right, well, you monitor it. I'll clean up out here.
I don't know where to sit with that.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CROA annual meeting for 2022-2023. It's been a fun year, and with that, I'll hand it over to Cindy. She usually talks more than that. She's being shy today. She's got a job to do with all the slides. So welcome. Good to see so many of you around today. The food. Everybody like the food? Yeah. Outstanding. Can we throw a party or what? So the year was 2004. Tim and I were enjoying settling into our newly built dream home in East Village. Tim, raise your hand. There he is. Some of you might remember his face. He was on the board for a while. He's a fixture over at Corpus Christi, so you've probably seen him around town. So at that time, our social life consisted of entertaining friends and family from back home in Indiana. 35 guests visited our house that first year we were here. Not only did they visit, they stayed at our house. 35 different people during the course of a 52-week year, so you get an idea. It's a revolving door. So by the time 2007 rolled around, house guests were few and far between. Novelty wore off, I guess. And I was becoming bored. Let's face it, you can only clean house so much, and you're done. So when I heard the town hall had just moved from the 690 building, which, for those of you who don't know, that's the building downtown that has the pillars in front of it, right next to the post office. That's the 690 building. So the staff moved from there to here to the 851 building. So I thought, maybe I'll go there and apply for a part-time job, thinking, okay, if they're moving to a bigger building, they must be hiring more staff. So I was hired as a part-timer, and I told them that all I wanted to do is make copies, answer phones, file, and maybe meet a few new people. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that one day I would end up on the association's board of directors, let alone serve as treasurer and currently president, but here I am.
Wow.
So tonight is a celebration of celebration. You will hear what our committees have accomplished during the last 12 months, see some amazing transformations during the last, in our amenities, and meet those individuals who will be serving as your representatives beginning this Friday. So without further ado, let's get this party started. So, music to that? I thought about that. Okay, so first thing we'd like to do, please, is everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So we will call this annual meeting to order. This is an official meeting that's required by our charter. Lauren, do we have a quorum tonight?
You do not have a quorum. Quorum is 20% of the eligible votes. Oops, sorry. You do not have quorum. Quorum is 20% of the eligible votes in celebration. 4,523 homes, 904 would be required to be present for this to meet quorum. So, but that's all right because no business is being discussed tonight.
That's right. Strictly fun. Okay. So, for those of you who may not know, I would like to introduce our panel of experts here. We have David Anderson, who is our current vice president. We have I almost said no applause, please, to save up for the end. Next, we have Celia McFadden. She's our secretary. Celia. Next, we have Bill Grindle, who's our treasurer. Finally, we have Jim Hayes, who's our director. So that's your board of directors as of right now. We would like to thank Bill Grindle. He has his own slide because we weren't sure that he would be staying. So we're thanking him for the last year that he was here, and gratefully he will be with us at least one more year. So yay, Bill. So thank you to Bill for starting last year.
I'm in it for the swag.
Certainly not the paycheck. And then we also wanted to thank Jackson Mummy and Brian Kinsel, this time last year, they were on the board with us, but they left for personal reasons, which is fine. Sometimes life happens. But thank you for for Jackson and Brian. So thank you for all your years of service. Okay, so
Wait, go back to those signs. Those are handmade signs by yours truly.
where she's not going to get a chance to talk. So, and that's okay.
Couldn't see the C and the L as much.
I know.
You got the right order too.
And now the new board members that were just elected last night, they will officially take office on Friday at the organizational meeting. So we have Charles Richards. Charles, I know you're here someplace. Oh, there he is. Jared Weiss. We will walk you through 3 years based on the number of votes that they had. And then again, Mr. Bill Brito. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so now we're going to move into the portion of the annual meeting where we recognize some very important people. We have very important people. So the first group that we're going to talk about is the Architectural Review Committee. Bill, take it away.
Yes, well, I was a liaison to the Architecture Review Committee all year. And it's amazing the amount of work they put in. I wrote this down off the report. There were 1,166 applications in 2022. They approved 952. And of the ones that weren't approved, they could still be approved. They're just in process. But if you were ever to attend one of those meetings, they've done an amazing amount of homework, or they've driven out person in their own time to look at the different locations. If there's a problem when we're at a meeting, they provide ideas to the architect or the resident as to how they might resolve the problem. You know, you can't quite do that opening, but this opening might work. So they are doing an amazing job with an amazing amount of work product being done. And there's 2 levels of review. Most of the applications get done online, and the ones that are more structurally oriented are the ones that show up on the monthly meetings.
Bill, did you mention the names of the folks on the architecture?
No, I didn't.
Would you like to?
Sure.
Is there anybody here that could stand up from the ARC? Is that
So-
going out of?
So the members of that committee are Juan Roberts is the chair, Joseph Lagas.
Stand so we know who you are.
Oh, seal.
I saw you today.
Joseph. Marissa I'm not sure, Machia. Jesse Opapka and Brittany Locke. And
No, you need a mic. Just a mic.
Jesse Opapka and Brittany Locke.
You gotta talk in the microphone.
Big town, sorry.
And the management liaison for Grand Manners is Natalie De La Torre.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is the Covenants Committee. I'm the liaison with the Covenants Committee. And on that committee, we have Gary Hudspeth, who's the chair. Gary, raise your hand. We have Stevie Kronfelder, which I didn't speak him tonight, but doesn't mean he's not hiding someplace. David Aiello, Sandy Chaleski, Shelley what's it? Reishi? Sorry, Shelley Reishi. And Charles Richards. And so obviously we will have an opening on this committee next
And Dane
coming soon.
Anderson.
So
Dane Anderson.
I'm not done. And Jane Anderson. As I said, I'm the liaison, and Natalie De La Torre is our management liaison. She's relatively new. She's doing a great job already, we can say. Successes with the Covenants Committee last year. One of the things that we did was fine-tune Grand Manners process to meet the standards of celebration. part of the issues that we had early in the year, you'll remember the multiple letters and blah, blah, blah. They've never quite seen a community like ours. So there were some growing pains there, but we worked around it, we figured it out, and everything's running smoothly. We introduced the Grand Manor's online resident portal, which will allow you to basically turn in your neighbors. So if you see a commercial vehicle parked outside of someone's house day after day after day, I believe just take a picture and send it in, and somebody will go and check it out for you. Not that we want you to go policing your neighborhood, but sometimes things get a little aggravating. And then continued education. They have started having weekly meetings with the covenants inspectors, so they can learn and everybody's on the same page with doing things. We've been putting more information in the Friday Flash, just kind of little random things, did you know, which I think is going to be helpful long term. And then, of course, we always have our articles in the Celebration News every month. So that's what they've been up to this year. Okay, next we have Parks and Recreation. This is actually Celia's time to talk. And she's not saying anything.
Okay, I came on to this committee a little late in the year because Brian Kensel was the board liaison for Parks and Rec. But I was the board liaison last year, and where this committee has gone this year is like, it's just amazing. Especially when you go from 4-hour meeting down to 23 minutes. So the chairperson, Clint Piercy, Julia DeVault, Tanya Filat, Anthony Sculgo, Victoria glasses, Lindsay Taylor, and John Trout. They're amazing. Nikki Patton is the management liaison for this committee, and man, it's amazing to see how far they've come in a year and what they've done. So I'm really proud to be part of this recreation committee this year. And that's it. I can't see what it says.
She's got a copy of that screen, but she doesn't have it. I can't see it.
Okay, so the Recreation Committee created and executed an RFP process for swimming, soccer, and tennis to look for high-quality programming. They reviewed and provided fee waivers to accommodate recreational activities as well as events for the residents of the community. Review and recommended contract extensions for over 16 recreational programs, and reviewed proposals from potential partner programs as well as new clubs to provide additional service to the community. And like I said, they are an amazing committee to be on. And Nikki just rocks her committee.
Next, we have the Dog Park Committee. That would be Mr. Anderson.
Celia had a hard time reading. I have a hard time speaking. I've lost my voice. It's almost back.
You want me to talk?
No. I'm not going to read the names. If any of those, you can read those. If any of those are present, please stand. It was founded 5 or 6 years ago after the opened dog park, after all that work was done, and I think under the leadership of Dory Moyer, who's here. But if you look at, again, the names are here, and it's really all about helping keep the great amenity that we have safe and healthy, primarily for the four-legged family members. A couple of their key highlights are, again, focusing on the safety concerns and then working through and refining the incident reporting system and occasionally getting involved with, if you will, review of an incident. Something that's not a success for this year, but was a success in the planning is something that the board approved last week. My memory fails me if it was last week, the week before we had a board meeting. This is part of the fog I'm coming out of. And that's a celebration at the dog park, and it's later this month or April?
April.
April. Okay, so that's upcoming in April. And so it's going to be a celebratory event. You can find that on the events tab in the celebration website. And I'm sure you'll see some notice in the celebration news forthcoming. That's dog park.
So the dog park party, oh,
Go ahead.
good. Okay, so the dog park party, is they're gonna have some kind of a truck there that's gonna be doing, I understand, flavored ices for the 2-footed residents, and ices that taste like gravy, maybe, for the 4-footed residents.
Do we have to keep those separate?
I don't know, but anyway, it sounds like it's gonna be a fun time, so when you see it advertised, mark your calendar and attend, so.
Yeah, that's a good celebration.
Okay. Next, we have the Finance Committee, and again, that will be Mr. Grindle.
The Finance Committee is a fairly recent celebration committee. Came out of the Governance Review Committee of a few years ago, and it's to provide analysis and oversight of Grand Manor's finances. The chair is Matt Lettinger, Andrew Beninati is a member, James Hyman, Mike Jackson, Dick Larson, John Wigan, and we're supported very well by Grand Manor's staff, Jennifer Rowe and Amy Gusweiler. The committee, I have to say, is one of the most educated committees I've ever been on in my life, because pretty much everybody has a heavy-duty financial background, and they really look at the numbers, look at what's going on, have made recommendations for some of the accounting things that were incorrect during the past year. They helped review and approve the 2023 CROA and CJC budgets. They monitor the monthly financials. They created an investment strategy and researched viable investment opportunities, which has not been initiated yet, but I would recommend be a priority of the new board. With money we already have in reserves, it's not making us any real money. But if it was invested wisely, and that's not all of it, keeping what we need on hand in the bank, we could easily generate an additional $100,000 a year money back to the community. And the CROA financial strength is very strong. We have operating funds at the moment of 1.4 million, reserve funds of 1.3 million, and capital improvement funds of 3.2 million. And some of those funds, not all of them, could in fact be invested almost immediately, either into safe CDs or treasuries.
Okay, great. Bill mentioned how great this committee was. We are very, very lucky to have so many talented people in the world of finance in our community. My first year on the board, I was treasurer because I don't think anybody else wanted it. My background is banking, and I mean, these guys know what they're talking about, so we are very lucky. When Bill came on the board and volunteered, I said, hey, go ahead. Good for you. So everything, I mean, they do a great, great job, but they're probably one of our most unsung heroes because they work behind the scenes. Next we have, ready, it's Celia's turn to talk again. Special Events Committee.
Fun committee to be on.
Do you notice a pattern here? She's only on the fun committees.
Wait, I'm on service area board liaison, so. Anyway, we have Debbie Jackson, who's our chair. Stand, Debbie. Debbie DeLoca, stand. Lauren Moyer, Melody Newman, Mary Van and Jamie Goodman. On the board liaison for this committee, Liz Wargo is our management liaison, and this committee is what makes our community rock. They go all out when it comes to having an event, and people say, oh, well, you don't really need to, but we do. We've outgrown Lakeside. We have events at the athletic fields that are amazing, and the turnout is just incredible. What this group puts together with our management liaison. We started pay-for-play events, which led more lifestyle offerings to residents with a minimal impact on the budget. Utilize more amenity space for events such as Heritage Hall, Town Hall, and the Jones Room. Introduce new vendors and event elements to enhance the resident experience. Overall increased attendance of residents enjoying community events. I mean, like over 1,000 residents attending events. Presented offerings that included national touring acts such as Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and other regional favorites. Created a diverse range of events for all of our residents to include children, teens, and adults. One of our Food Truck Friday nights included a teen rock band. And I think the adults enjoyed that teen rock band more than the kids at Lakeside. And that was a food truck. Food truck enhancements is to include live entertainment and movie nights. So this committee, they just had the father-daughter dance, and Jim, was it good? Spot on.
Awesome.
So kudos to this committee and for everything they do. It's amazing.
Next, Mr. Anderson is going to talk a little bit about the technology committee.
So if you read the celebration website and you read the last 5 months in the celebration news, you know that we have 5 cornerstones, and they are.
Technology.
What was that? Someone made something up. Oh yeah, technology is one. Also, education and community and health and place. Yeah, but technology might be, Bill, might be the most recent committee, more recent than finance. It was a toss-up. They're both pretty new.
Yeah, I remember technology.
So I think technology is about 3 years old, and you can read the names. Any technology committee members present? Stand and.
I see a hand. Wait,
Oh, there's a hand.
that?
I think that's Janine
Oh,
in the dark. So again, lots of vision, lots of expertise gathered around the table, and then mainly virtually table. And if you go to the highlights, you'll see a half dozen highlights, whether it's the voice over IP system here, software consolidation, antenna, Wi-Fi antenna at the field complex, all sorts of new technology. We have a long ways to go, but a lot has been accomplished. Something that's not on this list here that was a big discussion and a major initiative of the dog park committee, of the technology committee, maybe 2 years ago, or maybe 3, Jim, was the charging stations.
Yes.
Okay, and so they've done very systematic monitoring of usage and numbers of people and so forth. Kudos to the committee for all of their successes and for ongoing successes in the months and years to come.
For those of you who don't know, David is a professor. And obviously he just went into teaching mode. Who can tell me what the 5 cornerstones are? And so where
And that process is known as, never mind.
Okay. Oh, okay. Once again, Celia.
I love to volunteer. Okay, I'm the board liaison for the service area committees. We have a lot of service areas in our community. If anyone doesn't know, that would be the townhomes. We have 13 service areas. But I think Rose Vasquez is our service area management, part of the management liaison, and she is amazing. I don't attend these meetings because there are so many of them, but I am copied on any email. If there's anything to be addressed, we're on it. So I'm going to announce, even though there's a lot of names here, each person that's on the service committee, because these people are representing their community that they live in. So we have Oak Pond Townhomes, we have Lisa James, Susan Raphael, Jimmy Tate. If anybody's here, just stand up because it's important that you're acknowledged. Spring Lake Townhomes, Donald Grace, Bill Silverman, Jennifer Reese, Mark Davies. South Village Townhomes, Carl Fiore, Robert Schwartz, Patricia Bailey, James Lovegren, Lois Losey. Spring Lake Gardens, Terry Hohentanner, Joe Silva, Betty Zippin, Thomas Clary. Blue Sage, Don McLean, Don McGillen, Joseph Kanoka, Josephine Batzer, Parkview Townhomes, Martin Yesses, Brian Granchia, John Wigan, John Court. Academy Row, Michael Smith, Smitty Sykes, Eugene McNally, Terry M. Basic, David Romero. Savannah Square, James Sunshine, Stephanie Tiango, Damon Smith, Paul Rashkin. Paul, I know you're here. Stand up. North Village, Patricia Amandari, Patricia Robertson, and Nick Burtick. These are all committee members who have taken on their, this is representing their service area. Do we have anything about the condo council in here?
No, they're not a committee.
Okay, we're not a committee,
Go ahead.
but I'm just going to give a shout out to the condos, the condo council board liaison for all the condos. There's 11 condo associations in Celebration. 43% of us are homeowners in this community. So it's very important that the condo owners are represented by someone on CROA. And that's it.
It's a great group because they can get together and talk about things that are common to condo owners. And they also get in the loop of things that are going on in town hall here too. So thank you, Celia.
Thank you.
In addition to all these committees, we have task forces, and recently we've started doing SMEs. A SME is a subject matter expert. We had a SME group for Celebration Town Hall. We had a SME group for the Lot Deep project. Communications Advisory Group is also a SME. And then we have the election tabulation ad hoc group. Those are a group of volunteers that come together every year to count ballots. So they were just here last night doing their job and I'm now going to turn the program over to Lauren, and she's going to do a services rewind.
So from a resident services perspective, a lot of this was initiated by the town hall management team. Some of the highlights for this year were creating new and exciting merchandise offerings for our residents and visitors. Along with that was offering merchandise sales during community events and food truck Fridays to get further reach. We brought the phone lines and answering the phones back to town hall. So now you get a town hall management team member, or you get one of their specific words. Friday Flash was reorganized and expanded, and there are more improvements to come, including splitting out business information from our lifestyle and event offerings, so you can choose which ones you want to get or all of them. We've started pop-up events that are put on by Grand Manners. We haven't had one this year, but there's one coming this month, and hopefully that will be out at our new amenity center to be determined.
Lauren, can you tell us more about pop-up events?
Pop-up events are usually events that we plan as the management staff, trying to highlight something special that's going on. In October of last year, we did a Monster Mash at Heritage Hall. It's usually something that we put together a couple of weeks ahead of time and advertised in short order, and we offer beverages, some popcorn, Dole Whip, things like that, and just some fun events for families and residents alike. In December, we did a trivia night, which was really fun, and there will be one this month and hopefully one next month that's focused on health. So we're trying to touch all the cornerstones with those ones, so. We've been working a lot on communication this year, and we will continue to do that next year as well. I think that's an area that we can constantly improve on. Some of the highlights there are improved communication between town hall, residents, vendors, and communication with the board as well. So we'll continue to work on that.
Great. Yay, thank you. Let's talk about amenity enhancements. I remember that for the longest time, I didn't realize I needed glasses until I had to drive home from Naperville, Illinois to Maryville, Indiana, just because. And I couldn't see those great big green signs until I got right underneath it, which isn't a good plan if you don't really know where you're going, and the person who's in the car with you can't really tell you where you're going either. So I made an appointment with an eye doctor. When I walked out of that building with my new glasses, it was like, now mind you, it was in my neighborhood, but it was like, oh my goodness, look. And everything became clearer and brighter and more sharp. Unfortunately, that's what's been happening with our amenities over the last several years. So I wanted to make sure that the management company put in some befores and afters in some of our amenities, because just like me with my glasses, over a period of time, you forget what that park looked like in its heyday. You know, you just get used to the way it looks and the plants missing and the benches needing repair and all that kind of stuff. So here's a few pictures of befores and afters. So on the left, those are our basketball courts, obviously. On the left-hand side, that's before and after. These are those are the tennis courts now. I don't have my glasses on. Those are the tennis courts. This is Founders Park. Before.
Thanks for the new seal.
And after. Now, if you pay attention when you drive there now, I mean, it actually shines. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. Okay, then we have East Village Crescent. That's behind the pool in East Village. See the grass the way it was and the way it is now. Next is the Artisan Park Pergola, overgrown, beautiful now. Towie Park, before and after. The next one is the East Village Pool, and the amenity center there, before and after. These are the Crimson Mews. I'm guessing these are in Spring Lake? Spring Lake, yeah. It's a place we have, well, in Island Village, they don't have mews. So you see the before on the left and the after on the right, big difference. And that's the last one of those. But I wanted to make sure that you could actually see what's been going on, because, you know, a lot of times people don't see those things because they get used to it. So here, hopefully, you see that our beautiful community is being restored to the way it was when Tim and I first moved here in 2004. So big applause.
Just a clarification on that, all of that is this year.
Oh, yeah.
All of that is this year.
A lot of hours. A lot of hours and time went into this. There's been some talk about going over budget this past year. This is part of the reason. But that's okay, because the 2 years prior to that, we were under budget because things like this were not getting done. So it's not like we're in debt. It's not like we've lost money. We've finally spent the money that we need to spend to get the parks back up to where they need to be. So going forward, it should be a smooth ride. Okay, so Lauren is going to talk about the management team.
Well, I'll just introduce my management team, but first I'd like to acknowledge some of our corporate execs that we have here today. First off, Stacy Titleman. Corbin Setti, the VP of Grant Management. Most of you know I'm Lauren Gunyon. I'm your executive director here at Town Hall. Natalie Bauer is our
So people can see you.
Jose Otero, who's hiding over here. Liz Wargo, who's unfortunately not feeling well today, so she's out, but she's watching online. Brian Senkees, our operations manager.
Absolutely.
Nikki Patton, our Parks and Rec manager. Another Natalie De La Torre, who's our new community manager. Rose Vasquez, who is our service area manager. Amy Gusweiler, who's our resident services manager. Ivana Boyk, who is one of our lifestyles managers. And then Jennifer Rowe, who's not here because she is off-site, but she is our new finance manager.
You know they can't follow a slide presentation. Can they just walk up here so the residents can see that? Sure. Come on, guys, you need to be up here. Thank you.
Yeah, great team, and all the people that support them.
Yes.
And all the people that.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I also want to acknowledge Amber Braithwaite, who is our new comms manager. Yeah, about 3 weeks.
And she's still here. Yes,
She'll be bringing you some great things this year. We just want to take a moment to thank our community partners. The Celebration Community Development District, Greg Filak, their chairman, and Jack McLaughlin is our current liaison. The Celebration Foundation and Kathleen Scipio, who I'll invite to talk in a minute. Lexon, the Celebration Town Center, and Janice Payne, the Osceola County School District, and Dr. Deborah Pace. Celebration Sanitation, Ken Lee. The Osceola County Commissioners, Commissioner Peggy Chowdhury, and the Osceola County Sheriff Mark Lopez. And speaking of partnership, we have this amazing new program that I'm going to ask Kathleen to come talk about and talk about the foundations.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. CROA board, old and new. As stated, my name is Kathleen Scipio. I'm the executive director of the Celebration Foundation. And I'm going to start with community connections. This was truly a labor of love. Community Connections is a monthly event being held in partnership with CROA, CCDD, and the Celebration Foundation. And about, 18 months ago, the CROA board liaison for the foundation, Dr. David Anderson, said, there's a need in our community and we need to help. And that is for new and established residents in town to get information about involvement. Affectionately known as the alphabet soup, with all the acronyms, We devised a program and a presentation that is 60 minutes long, that happens every month, and you can register for it on the Celebration Foundation website. We highly encourage you to wear some sort of wardrobe garb of where you moved from, a baseball cap, a sweatshirt, as an icebreaker, so we can see where you moved from and how you found Celebration. We've had 2 so far. Our 3rd one is March 10th. They're very successful. I cannot thank Amy, Celia, David, and Cassandra Starks from CCDD for all that we've done to make it happen. It has really been wonderful. And that's community, right? That's making things happen. So thank you.
And Cindy for filling in for me.
Oh, yes. So one of the things I ask at Community Connections, first question I ask is, did you ever live anywhere that was an HOA before you came to Celebration? And if you did, can you please raise your hands? Okay. Can you raise your hand if you lived anywhere where there was a community foundation? I got one. I have to talk to you. But I got 2. So, but other than that, I have to tell you what we do. So the Celebration Foundation, I'll keep it very simple. We care, we connect, and we change. And how do we do that? How do we change our community landscape? When Disney set us up, they probably had no idea that in 2023, we would have 6 programs: Celebration Lifelong, Thriving in Place, Learning Without Hunger, our concert series, scholarships, and community grants. We do 6 annual events: Teacher Appreciation, Volunteer Appreciation, now Community Connections, our annual shredding event, so start getting your paperwork together, our signature gala, and our holiday home tour and Winter Wonderland event. And I don't know if anyone attended that in this room or records. We had the most attendance and we raised the most funds. We raised almost $100,000 due to the generosity of this community and all of the attendees. And what do we do with that almost $100,000? Well, I can tell you through our community grants program, I'm not going to tell you the amount, but I'm going to tell you all we did. We gave Creation Village a grant, the school, for a roof for their greenhouse project that the children do. We gave Westside K-8 a grant for gymnastic mats. We gave the Boy Scouts a grant so that they could charter a bus to take their entire troop to a week-long camp where they earned the Honor Award, which is like the Sportsmanship Award in athletics. We gave the Cub Scouts a grant where they got a new Pine Derby track. We helped Embrace of Celebration. We helped the Celebration High School basketball team get new uniforms. We helped the Celebration K-8 middle school cheerleaders get new uniforms. We sent to the finish line 8 students to participate in the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade from Celebration High School, which is just a national program where they only accept 200 children, student musicians, out of over 10,000 applicants, and we sent 8. How about that? We helped the Veterans Club. We helped the Celebration K-8 with the graduation tent, because I don't think you all know this. If you didn't have an 8th grader last year, the class was so big, they couldn't fit in the gym to graduate. They wouldn't have one parent watching them, and that just wasn't acceptable. So we helped them. We helped the band with their graduation cords. We helped the Celebration swim team with their swim caps. We helped the Celebration High School PTSA with their teacher appreciation, and we helped Horizon Middle School with their theater program. But we could not do it without you. We could not do it without our volunteers. So it is the joy of giving. It is community. I'm not timing myself, but I know you're going to yank my microphone in a minute or less than. Just tell you a real quick story. When I moved here, I had the opportunity to volunteer for a year and not work. And every day I drove my daughter to school at Celebration K-8. So she thought I worked there. And she was in 2nd grade and she said, "Mom, what's your job at the school?" And I said, "I don't have a job at the school. I'm a volunteer." And she said, "What's a volunteer?" And I said, "A volunteer is," I said, "Well, I know a career is when your wallet is full. So a volunteer is when your heart is full." So thank you all for volunteering. and making Celebration the absolutely best place to live in the United States. So thank you.
Love those people. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the annual video. You want to turn down we need to turn down the lights a little bit, guys? Jose.
Will you go grab them?
So while we're waiting, Jim didn't have really a speaking part today. Is there anything that you're just dying to share, Jim?
Well, actually, you're the board CCD liaison, so that would be great.
Yeah.
I know, I always interrupt. John, sorry.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Well, that's a first.
Trying something different.
Shouldn't be just another few minutes. There we go. Okay. Looks like
This is Jules, VP of a ketchup company, about to use Grammarly to handle a PR issue. Ketchup's not.
Very nice, very nice. Lauren is up next. We have a Hall of Fame. There's a plaque outside if you've never noticed. This is I don't want to take her thunder, but this is a person who the staff votes on, kind of like an MVP every year. So she's ready.
All right, so every year, as tradition, the management group introduces a volunteer Hall of Fame inductee. This year is somebody who served on the technology committee, somebody who pretty much marched the communications advisory group down the road, and serves on a number of Artisan Park committees, and did all of that this year while being pregnant. So with that, Janine Brent, come on up. Do you want to say a few words?
Sure. Wow, I wasn't prepared for this. Oh, and that's my great LinkedIn picture. I just first want to say thank you to Lauren and the rest of the town hall staff. You guys are incredible. Next, thank you to everyone in Artisan Park. I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the committee right now. I see Angela in the back. Woo-hoo. And it was a true honor to be able to be the chair of the Communications Advisor Group. And like Lauren said, while I was 6 months pregnant, baby is here. She's 6 months old tomorrow. Very happy about that. But I do want to say and continue to challenge the board. We have a lot of room to go with communications. My inbox is always open. My phone is open, except when I'm on a conference call. Please reach out. We would love to make things the best possible way for communications within this community. We live in a great place. I'm honored to live here. And little me can't believe that I'm going to be on the wall of Town Hall, considering I came here when I was 5 years old with my grandpa, and it was always my dream to live in Celebration. And so giving back to this community is something that is unreal. I don't get emotional usually, so I'm going to stop. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so those of you who filled out tickets at the doors for door prizes. Sure. How many do we have? All right, 160053. There you go. It's a green bag. Yeah. Everybody needs a green bag.
Here's my verification.
All right, last one, 160028.
I think it's not me, it's people had to leave and they left me their ticket.
Do you know what
One,
people?
yeah, Bill and Bernice,
Oh,
Bernice
okay.
did the ballot counting last
Okay.
night.
All right, good.
160028,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, that's there.
Excellent. See, another benefit of volunteering, the door prize.
I just want to point out, Bill had 2.9, which would have given him 3 bags.
Thank you for that, Jim. Always count on Jim. Thank you. Keeping us honest. Okay, we have reached the period of the evening where it's closing remarks. So it's me again. So all I can say is, wow. This year has truly been a journey. As you've seen tonight, we've had some really remarkable successes in this past term. As the saying goes, it takes a village, or in our case, a town. This time last year, there were 7 of us seated at the board. As you can see, we're now only 5, at least until Friday anyway. No matter how dedicated this group or the next is, no matter how much time we put in, it could never be enough to accomplish what needs to be done every single day of every single year. Luckily, we don't have to do it on our own. You saw the range of committees we have, everything from finance to activities and entertainment. We depend on these committees to provide advice and recommendations before we act. There are over 100 individuals, owners like yourselves, who share their time, their expertise, and talent to make our job as your representatives a little easier. And I counted the ones on the screens, and then I knew there were, a couple dozen more than that. So anybody who volunteers, or has volunteered last year, let's all stand at the same time so everybody can see how many of you there are even here tonight. Stand up, you. They can stand. You're on the advisory committee. I've got the crowd that's here, so just to show you the kind of participation we have. Commercial time. We are currently in the process of recruiting new volunteers to serve on all of our committees. As you probably put two and two together, Charles Richards will have to step down as a member of the Covenants Committee, so we will need to fill that slot. And we're always looking for new people who want to get involved. New blood is good. No matter where your interest lies, chances are we have a place for you. Just one meeting a month for the committees. We're also trying to start a pool of volunteers, much like the foundation has, that we can call on to help as needed for events, programs, and special events. So that would be just, periodically. Not everyone has the time or inclination to serve on the board, but volunteering either on a committee or on an as-needed basis is a way to lend your voice or helping hand without making a huge commitment of time. For more information about applying to be a volunteer, check the Friday Flash or visit our website. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Did you know there are 6 active and 48 passive parks in Celebration? Active park is where there's something going on. Passive parks is just those little pocket parks that you see throughout town. I live on Downey Place, and in the center there's a nice little grassy area with a pergola and all that stuff. Those are all pocket parks. So anyway, 6 active parks, 48 passive parks, 6 pools, tennis courts, 5 freestanding structures with grounds. That's a lot to maintain. Tonight's presentation highlighted some of the amazing transformations that have taken place over this past year. I think we can all agree that the results are absolutely beautiful. So I would like Natalie and the folks that report to her just to stand on your own so they can see who they owe thanks to for making the parks and everything just and then we have those staff members who handle the day-to-day business in our community. They're the strongest link between the community and the board. These folks are the board's first line of defense. Except in extreme cases, they are our problem solvers. How many of you worked in the service industry? Yeah, I would have thought there would have been more. Well, those of you who have know that it can be a very difficult job. I marvel at this staff's resilience and how quickly they can pivot, reprioritize, and push forward. And that group is headed by our executive director, Lauren. So Lauren, if you and anybody reports to Lauren, great group of folks. Finally, I'd like to thank the residents for placing your trust in us to do what's best for Celebration. I know it may not seem so at all times, but the one thing that unites and drives all of us is our passion for Celebration. I think I speak for all of us when I say we're looking forward to a productive year as we work together to make Celebration the best place to live, work, and play. Can I get an amen? Amen. Thank you for coming, and have a great rest of your evening.